brace online and had a bad session yesterday. Played all 7 days in the last seven out of 7 days. And 7 out of 7 days, I'm down $3,000 for the past week. You know, and it's I'd rather somebody just tell me I'd been cheated. You know, I'd feel better about it. But it's not working right now. I don't know if I'm just overplaying. I know I'm taking a break from online for a few days, even though that's where the action is. I say a few days, I might play a little bit here and there, but yeah, it's been a struggle this past week. I even had not one, but like 2 or 3 people message me who saw the hands, and they're just like, wow, you're just really in a bad downswing right now, and you keep running bad. Like, I think I had one hand last night where I got it in with only like 25% equity, but I think that was like the worst hand I got it in with. Got it in with the nuts a couple of times. Got it in with like 48% equity a couple of times. So no huge pots, just I did a lot of $200 buy-ins last night and lost $1,100. It's just like, wow. I am heading down to Green Bay this morning. Green Bay Oneida finally decided to start running Holdem at Omaha again. And now because of that, they have Holdem at Omaha like 4 or 5 days a week. So they had it Wednesday. I believe they had it yesterday, which was Thursday. Today's Friday. They're definitely going to have it today. So I'm just going to head down there, call, put my name on the list. I don't know what time their poker room opens up, but it's 8:30 in the morning on Friday. It's a 3-hour drive for me, so I'll get there about noon. So even if I'm first on the list, I know that means I'll wait 2 or 3 hours, but I'll just play 2-card poker in the meantime. So I'm ready to... The itch for live play has come back, and I'm going to go ruffle chips. And yeah, I'm ready to just win, I don't know, $2,000 to $5,000 in the next 2 days. My parents live in the middle of 40 acres out in the middle of nowhere. This morning, my mom calls me to inform me that her Chihuahua did not come back in from her morning venture out. I'm afraid it's likely a hawk or an eagle got her. I'm gonna go down to Green Bay, be extra focused, and take my frustration out of this past week of online punting. I don't even feel like it was punting, just online bad run. And I'm going to get to Green Bay, play until they close, and I'm going to crush the fucking dreams of everybody who's sitting at the table. Coming down here, I got to play heads up for, I don't know, hour and a half. Started off down like $250, had a disconnect, had a couple DCs, which was frustrating, but bounced back a little bit and finished like up $100 win. Whatever, I'll take it. Any win right now after $3,000 loss online nonstop, running my head through fucking drywall is better than anything. Friday night, they've already got the game going. I'm on the list. I'm looking forward to it. One of my buddies who's at Oneida right now told me that it looks like a really nitty lineup, which sucks because that means I'm probably going to play 2-card poker for 6 to 8 hours before I get into 4-card poker. But I tell you this, I'm on a fucking mission this weekend. I'm going to fucking break the hearts of everybody who sits at my goddamn table. Don't get me wrong, I'm going to be the nicest guy that you'll play with. Not drinking, not smoking, I'm just pissed. I'm pissed at the world. My mom's dog is probably dead. Frustrated. I'm frustrated. I don't know if I want to say pissed. Let's just say I'm frustrated. I'm debating, like, on, I don't know, there's a couple different things I'm debating on. Like, when I go to Vegas in June, do I just play tournaments and that's it? I'm leaning that way. Do I take a couple of bigger games, 10-25, buy in for $3K, do 3 bullets of that? Yeah, I could do do that too. I do want to show some 1025 action because, you know, even the 50-cent dollar online game that I've been playing with plays a lot like a 1025. And what I mean by that is there really isn't a hand without a 3-bet. And, you know, if the board comes 3 hearts and you have a 9-high flush draw, there's a lot of times where you have to call it off because the guy could be bluffing with the ace-high flush blocker, and he knows that that is what he's supposed to do and it's appropriate. So heads up, I'm just enjoying so much. I'm tempted to do like a heads up-a-thon, I don't know, where I just play heads up for like 10 hours or something, or maybe I'll do an announcement where I live stream heads up for 4 hours, or up or down $2,000, whatever happens first. Plus or minus 2K or 4 hours. Yeah. And live stream it and see who else wants to play. I had a funny thing happen to me today. I was playing No Limit Holdem, sit down at the table, buy in for $400. Immediately I'm up like 300. I'm just playing really well. I am getting there, but every time I get there, I'm betting big. And I know with like Holdem and GTO, and you're supposed to slow play and everything, and I'm locking in a win. It was a $3,300 win. But here's the big thing. I'm playing Holdem. I get called for PLO. I've only been playing Holdem for like 40 minutes. Usually if you're on the wait list here at Oneida for Omaha, because people have such deep pockets, which is part of the reason why it's such a good game, you wait like 2 to 4 hours. When I got here and I saw us first on the list, I fully expected to wait 2 to 4 hours. Instead, I waited about 30 minutes, sit down on the Omaha table. 30 minutes later goes by. Not just the table that I left, the seat that I was sitting in hit the bad beat. It was, that seat got like 40 grand, 40,000 and change, 40,600 and whatever. And so who knows? When I came over to the Omaha table, a lot of the Omaha players I've played with was trying to put me on tilt. Oh God, you were even in that seat, blah, 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 that table, blah, 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 blah. And I can respect and appreciate that. I mean, I'd try to put myself on tilt too. But in all seriousness, I think it actually backfired. All the harassing that they did made me hyper-focused, and I had a decent win, like $3,300 win on a 2-5. I played for 7 hours. So I called my wife and I told her about the bad beat thing, and I said, you know what? I said, if that isn't an exclamation point on the end of my downswing, I don't know what it is. I think the card gods, it was like lightning coming from the sky. I sat down at the PLO table, I'm playing for 30 minutes, and I hear this table go absolutely apeshit, and I recognize like a couple of the voices because I was just there. Not only was I just there, it was in the seat I was in. But you know what? You could take that opportunity, let it tilt you, and be like, motherfucker, I could have been 40K richer. There goes all the tournaments I wanted to play for the World Series, buy-ins right there if I just sat there for another 30 minutes. Or you could use that energy and say, you know what? I must have gotten up and out of that because the card gods want to teach me humility. They want to teach me what it's like to grind, because when I do have those wins, they're just going to be bigger and more appreciative. Theme for 2023 is find your silver lining. And if you know me personally, you know that holds more true in 2023 than it ever has in any other year. So, in any case, everybody, I am driving home. I am excited. Oh, it just feels good to play poker and then win. You know? Oh, fuck. Been on this hellacious downswing. God. I was like debating to myself, if I continue losing, do I like show my frustration to you, the viewers? Oh, now I'm showing you guys my elation. It's nice to win 3K in a 2-5 game. You know, it's funny. yesterday, Green Bay, I was reflecting upon this. I misplayed one hand. There was one hand that cost me an extra $200 against one particular individual. The reason why I bring that up is because it made me think how I used to play Pot at Omaha was I would play Pot at Omaha until you made one mistake. When you made one mistake, you got up and you left. And I don't mean like you called knowing you were behind and that's a mistake. I'm talking about like you put the guy on a full house and you check and he bets and you pay him off anyways. That is a mistake because you're not going with your read. That's really important in Pot at Omaha. Very important. But, so when I was playing yesterday, I say to the guy who's sitting directly to my left, who's a really good Pot at Omaha player, and I've actually seen him develop as a player over the last couple of years. When I first played with him a couple of years ago, he was your standard beginner PLO player where he would play incredibly tight and then just wait to check raise you and stuff like that. But in any case, he's better now in the fact that he mixes in some bluffs, which is good because that means you're developing as a player. So credit to that person. But what I'm getting at is when I was sitting next to him, I said to him, I said, you know, in the past, if I made one mistake in Pot at Omaha, I'd get up and leave. And he goes, well, Josh, and everybody would leave within an hour, the game would bust. And I said, no. I said, Omaha, when you truly understand Omaha, when you really understand the root of Omaha, it's a game of finesse. It's like a game, it's like an opera performance. Everything has to go flawlessly. And if one thing doesn't go flawlessly, that's the one thing everybody will remember. But because the game was good, and I hadn't played live in 2 weeks, I played for like another hour or so. But I realized when I said that to him, I needed to go back to some of my old habits where I make one mistake, time to go. And I think I need to stick to that, and 3 buy-ins. I think after 3 buy-ins, time to go. I was watching another vlogger who does both Omaha and Holdem. I can't remember his name, but seems like a nice fella out in California. Does that Hustler. He blogs at Hustler a lot. And he said he likes to minimize his Omaha losses with limiting it to 1 buy-in. And I thought, man, this is insane. 1 buy-in? What if the game is juicy? What if it's the best game you've ever been played? What if that's the case and you get stuck? Do you just still stick to that 1 buy-in principle? You know, the guy's doing pretty well, or he says he's doing pretty well, and I believe him. Earlier on in my career, I would stick to certain principles, like make 1 mistake in Omaha that was noticeable. Again, it's not like, oh, I've got 33% equity, he bets pot, I'm calling. That's not a mistake. Or I know I have 28%, but I feel like gambling a little bit. That's kind of a mistake, but not a big one. But like, oh, I put my opponent on a flush. Okay, I'll call. Oh, you have a flush. Nice hand. That's a mistake. You know, not necessarily a wrong read, because I coach my students to play with their reads. So if you put somebody like on a busted flush draw or whatever the case may be, you know, call them, play your read. But if your read is wrong, then I suppose you could get up. So 3 buy-ins max, unless I'm at a meetup game. If I make 1 like critical error, done, get up and leave. Because that's all it takes in Pot at Omaha is 1 mistake to lose your whole stack. And I think that's why it is such a game of finesse. Because at the end of the day, the reason why Holdem players don't like Omaha, because it is such a game of finesse. Everybody could do everything correctly, and you can still lose. You could have a wrap and a flush draw, and the other person can have a set, and somebody's going to win and somebody's going to lose, and both players played it appropriately, okay? And the reason why Holdem players don't like that is because when Holdem players lose, don't tell the rest of the world I said this, when Holdem players lose, they think they lost to a worst player. Nolan at Texas Holdem is the only game or the only sport where you can say that person is worse than me and they beat me because you got it in with aces and they called with jacks and a jack came. And you go, see, I had an 80% chance of winning. That's why I'm better than him. And then people would be like, but he has all your chips. No, that's why I'm better than him. In Omaha, you can be like, Yeah, he had top set. I had a wrap and a flush draw, and it went brick, brick. He would have done the same. I would have done the same. That's the difference between Omaha players and Holdem players. Omaha players will lose and go, yeah, I would have done the same, man. Like, totally. And they genuinely mean it. Holdem players are like, what? You've got 6-3 offsuit on the button and you're calling a 10x big blind raise? I mean, obviously there's a couple other differences. Like, you got to wear headphones and sunglasses and not be conversational when you're a No Limit Texas Holdem player. Where if you're a Pot Limit Omaha player, oh yeah, the guy that took 6 or 7 grand off of you last week, you're like, hey, what's up, man? Yeah, nice. I'm glad that you're coming back to the game, you know? You're not like... You're way more sociable in Pot Limit Omaha than No Limit Holdem. So I have a quick little story. Last year when I was at Vegas, I think it was a 5-10 No Limit game. No cap buy-in, whatever that is. It was either 5-10 or 10-25. I'm pretty sure it was 5-10. Because I only bought in for $2 grand. But I buy in for $2 grand. This is Holdem. Because I'm waiting for double board bomb pot to open up at the Wynn during the series. I buy it, I'm buzzed, I'm drunk, and out of 9 players on the table, 6 of them have headphones on. I think 7 people had hats on. There had to be like 4 or 5 with sunglasses. The only person who was sociable sat down to my right, bought in for $12,000, and then he was like, what do you want to drink? And I was like, yeah, let's drink. No one was talking at the table. Now, obviously, he just thinks I'm some kind of fucking tourist. When I come in stoned or drunk or fuck just the way I look, I kind of look like a party tourist in Vegas, you know? So he's just trying to do his thing, earn his living. I understand that, not realizing that I'm just trying to do my thing, earn my living. And he's trying to keep me at the game. And I'm like, bro, I'm like, in all seriousness, so I play it up. I'm like, I'm just a stupid drunk tourist, man. I'm like, I'm trying to talk. None of these guys are talking. The point of the story is if you are a professional and you do run into somebody who is a drunk tourist, get them to stay by talking to them. If they want a beer, grab them a beer. If they want a salad, order a salad. If they want a pizza, get a pizza. I don't know. Forget about it. It's April 22nd and it's snowing. We are 3 weeks into baseball, people. 3 weeks. 4 minutes of this video is my immediate reaction after I found out the passing of my brother. So if you do not want to see my immediate reaction, please go ahead and skip ahead by about 4.5 minutes. Thank you very much. About 10 minutes ago, I got news that my brother had passed. Although this may not be a comfortable subject, I'm just going to let the whole video play out as I recorded it. Because it's hard for me to edit it. Thank you. I kind of made peace with it about a month ago. It's not the first time I've had a death in the family. That doesn't make it easier. I don't even know what I'm going to use. I don't even know if I'm going to post this. But I felt his presence around me, just telling me just to vlog about it. I don't know why. Yeah. Death and divorce is very similar to each other. It's my older brother. He's 10 years older than me. Was. Almost born on the exact same day. He's had hypomanic bipolar and diabetes. I mean, he didn't like die in a car accident. He at least died peacefully in his sleep. 8 o'clock this morning, he was alive. His roommate checked on him and went to town to go grocery shopping and came back by 1. He was dead. I've already screamed at the forest. And, yeah. This sucks. But yeah, I'll probably be crying when I review this for editing. Got the news while I was playing online poker. It's good action. I don't know. I was up like 150, 200 bucks. Full game already. 1 o'clock on a Monday. And, yeah. Whew. I'm not one to get into like religion, spiritual stuff, but wow, this sucks. Yeah. Again, I don't even know if I'm going to post this, but this is about as real as life gets. Not just of a grinder, but of anybody who's lost a loved one. Yeah. Daniel Patrick Thatcher, I love you, man. I'll see what I can do about winning a big one this year. Play smart, everybody. Run like a god. So yesterday, all things considered, went pretty well. I mean, I'm sure my brother died April 24th on Monday. I managed to win like $1,200. Did good Saturday at Oneida. Sunday I played on, it was the first time I logged on to Poker Stars, and first time I logged on to WSOP. Played cash there, played online, and then yesterday won like $1,200, even though all the stuff was going on with my brother. But yeah, you know, you can't, when you have something that dramatic happen in your life, you have to pause for a minute, let things slow down for a minute, and then you gotta realize that the globe is still spinning, that you gotta get on with your life. And not only that, but not only do you have to get on with your life for you, you gotta get on for those who passed. My brother wouldn't be sitting around moping about him. No. He'd say, get your shit together, Josh. Quit fucking around on tournaments. Quit fucking around on cash games. And go start fucking winning everything. That's what he would say to me. So that's what I'm going to do. Poker, the poker life, there's parts of it that are very fun. So a good friend of mine won a $400 buy-in Venetian deep stack yesterday. Mike from Green Bay. 27 grand for first place. Good job, Mike. And just like that, with all the bad news going on in the world, there's good news. So, yeah, I don't know what I'm going to use. I don't know if I'm still feeling numb. I know I've cried a lot the last 24 hours at random intervals, in the shower, using the bathroom, walking. But that's okay. Got a lot of things looking forward to. You know, you just gotta put the past behind you. My brother's in a better spot. He's not struggling with his mental capacity anymore. Still embracing online. The game last night was absolutely insane. I recorded a bunch of it, but I didn't record all like a bunch of key hands. I recorded, I don't know, maybe 2 hours of the game, because that's about how long I played yesterday, was about 2 hours. And yeah, absolutely crazy game. You know, life always throws you curveballs. And my brother passing yesterday, given it's only been a day, but it's another curveball. And some of you might say, boy, a day later, you're taking this really well. I'm taking it as I can. So I have a system of beliefs that's much different than probably 95% of the population. So, and I'm not going to go into that. You guys don't need to hear that bullshit. But let's just say 3 weeks ago, I had an idea that my brother, obviously you guys know because I vlogged about it, wasn't going to make it till 2024. And I said my piece with him. As a poker player, we can take time off when we need to. Or we can work when we need to. Yesterday, I was playing poker when I found out my brother passed. You know, I thought about it. I played last night too, and I had a really good night last night. But before I played last night, I said to myself, would your brother want you to sit around and mope around and not go do your profession? And I said, hell no. He would want me to do the exact opposite. He'd want me to go bink something. So I'm going to try. Or as he would say, do the Yoda. Do or do not. There is no try. Play smart, everybody. Run like a god.